Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world famous Bitcoin Original Gangster channel. I'm your host, SirToshi, and on this show we'll be defending Bitcoin gangster style from the misconceptions spread by snake oil salesmen and shitcoiners. On this show we'll be protecting Satoshi Nakamoto's design for Bitcoin as he intended it to be, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. All the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Hey people, how are we doing? Oops, hold on 1 second. Unmute myself. Hey people, I've just unmuted myself. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Ready to rock and roll. I'm with Micah today, and we're just going to be giving you the daily rundown of what's going on in the Bitcoin world. Micah.
Satoshi.
Yes, are you there? How are you?
I'm fine, but I'm clicking your YouTube link. It says that the video is not available.
Let me think. So I've just sent out a. If you go to my YouTube channel, it should be able to take you to the live stream right now.
Definitely, now it's there. Yeah,
you got it.
But maybe I should also retweet it again with a new link.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, great. If you want to do that, that'd be fantastic. Let's get this going. Let's get this show on the road, as they say. Exciting times. Right, let's just see.
So thank you for inviting me here to be in your daily live stream until Bitcoin halving.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the counting down clock. So we have exactly 26 days, 15 hours, 24 minutes, and 25 seconds until we get there. Oh, we have Sylvian Cutier in the house. Great stuff. So that's one viewer already. Great stuff. You know, where there's one, there's going to be another. Bring them in, people. Share that link out. Let's get some people in the chat box and have some fun. The more, the merrier.
Yeah, thank you, Siva. And Peru also.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, great stuff. On his lunch break.
From Maryland. Siva, where are you from? Are you from France or are you also living in the US?
Me?
No, Sylvain Cloutier.
Oh, he is French Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just did an interview with him the other day. He's got a channel where he gives people some information on cryptocurrencies and streaming channels and stuff like that. So yeah, he's pretty cool. Had a lovely chat with him the other day. There we go. See, look.
Wonderful.
I was actually watching a Daniel Krauwitz video earlier on today where he was talking about becoming the center of the network and signaling through antlers and stuff like that. And so basically what he was saying was that it's actually important to bring people together, because when people come together, that's when they bounce ideas off each other. That's when you have breakthroughs. Like they always say, learn to like and get along with people, because you will never find a rich hermit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading that quote and thought to myself, you know what? That's a good idea. So even if you feel as though you don't like people or you don't want to get along with people, you should learn to, because they are there to help, basically. So, and let me think. My other favourite quote that I found was, "If you don't like where you are, change it. You are not a tree." And what was the other one? If a man is heading down the wrong road, or it could be man or woman, is heading down the wrong road, he doesn't need motivation to speed him up. He needs education to turn him around.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think that's what a lot of BTCers need, and general anybody who is not on the genuine Bitcoin, which we all know is BSV, needs some real life education, which hopefully we can give them today, if they're listening into the show. So if you wanna, obviously you know Prue already, but I think I got about 42 listeners into my show yesterday. So do you want to introduce yourself, Miko, and just tell everybody about your story and who you are?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm Maike, and I'm from Germany. And some of you might already know me through other live streams in the crypto space. I'm an entrepreneur and musician.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's a great picture of you in your Twitter profile singing.
Yes.
Are you a singer? Are you part of a band?
Well, I'm a singer, but also instrumentalist. I would call myself an entertainer, so I can go on stage and make people do waves or like singing with me and do anything what I tell them to do, and they enjoy everything I will do on stage. So, and then that's like more entertaining also.
Yeah. It's we've got a great picture of you here. I've just I've just brought it up so everybody can see it. Look at that. That looks very cool, I must say. Where was that picture taken? The picture that's in your banner.
That was at the beginning of this year at a New Year's concert.
Really?
So here in Cologne, and it was a very successful gig.
Wow.
And, but besides, this musician side, I'm very much into the digital asset and blockchain world, and it's really making me so enthusiastic and what it will contribute and bring to the world. How many changes in many ways, like the internet did in the last years. So I see it as one of my maybe duties to bring it to Germany, because
Absolutely.
Germany is kind of like a technological backwards country in some ways.
Really?
And so my abilities is to maybe facilitate or to make it easy for them to understand and to open their minds and hearts towards a new technology, and to also encourage them to see what they will miss out if they don't take over this technology.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just building up a company which will connect like blockchain companies with German industries.
Right.
And this I would love to see the blockchain technology and BSV and everything what will bring and help in many ways in many industries. I will bring this through the company to Germany. That's my current goal.
So how did you go from singer to crypto enthusiast?
I do professional music since around 10 years now.
Okay.
And I was working as a freelancer, or I am working as a freelancer. And I noticed, most of the musicians, they don't do like business stuff, and they are only like having open their arms and wait till something drops out of the sky, from the sky, And I was saying, okay, I take it into my I do it with my hands and say, okay, I build up the management, I contact event managers and the industries and so on. And so I was building up the music business, and I really enjoyed making the business stuff. So and at some point I thought, no, I don't want to start like event agency. There are enough event agencies. I
Yeah.
want to do much more than this. And then I started studying next to my musician work, like I was dealing with economics. And then I started going to visit like startup events, like entrepreneurship events. And there, at one of the events, someone told me about blockchain and digital assets.
Right. Wow.
And then I was really like, okay, it was, I know you don't like XRP, but this was my start.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, so I really got enthusiastic about XRP. The thought of sending money around the world and with micropayments, with so little fee and immediate. That was already like wow.
Mm.
And I thought, okay, nobody knows about this technology almost here in Germany. So I think this is like an entrepreneurial opportunity.
Yeah.
So so since around 2 years, I'm dealing like on a daily basis with blockchain technology and digital assets. And so I got onto Twitter and into the scene. I got to know the one and only Peru Crypto. And
Yeah.
yeah, I really love to work with him. And much more will also come out in the future with him and me, what we are working together and so on. So everybody stay tuned.
Yeah. So how did you how did you first come across XRP, and what was it about it that first I suppose took your interest?
About XRP,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um,
I mean, did you hear about XRP before you'd heard of Bitcoin?
no. Well, the first time I heard about Bitcoin, it's years ago. I think with the beginning of Bitcoin, I heard about Bitcoin,
Mm.
but it was through like these scam emails, like buy some like sex stuff toys with Bitcoin. I don't know how many emails I got, which I put immediately into garbage. So so I connected or at the beginning Bitcoin and all this technology with some dark web stuff. So I didn't Peru. Well, sex, drugs, some what is it, like human trade, like all this
Oh
shitty
yeah,
stuff.
human
Can
trafficking and
connect
stuff. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
human traffic. Yes, exactly. So and I also got to know about blockchain technology within the years, but I never got into the details.
Mm.
So the person who told me about XRP really changed my mind about blockchain and all these digital assets in general. That it's something real behind it, not
Mm.
only like some criminal stuff or so. So
Oh, I
and
see. Right. So you liked XRP because it had sort of real world application use.
yes, definitely.
Mm.
So and then the XRP community people always compare XRP with Bitcoin, with BTC, and compare or say how shit BTC is, and that it's not usable, and everything.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, when you compare XRP with BTC, I think in many ways they are right, but they don't know, or don't they? Maybe they know about BSV, but they, yeah, no, they say they don't want to see it, what BSV can bring to everybody. Oh, and I see Rough Recon. Hello
Hey,
there.
fantastic! Is he one of your friends?
He's also well, I got to know him also from the XRP community, but
Right.
I think through Peru Crypto, he really opened everybody to look at BSV.
Wow. And so, who first turned to who first found like the genuine Bitcoin out of you and Peru? Was it a bit of combination between the both of you, or how did you find it? Because I mean, this is the journey that is I think sets people apart. You know, some people stumble across it, some people are looking for it. You know, and it represents a level of intelligence. You know, to recognize and understand what's happened to Bitcoin, to actually find the genuine Bitcoin, because the whole point of what they've done is to generally sort of try and hide it and confuse people about it. You know, so to actually find it, kudos to anybody who has come across it like you have. So how did you find it?
So, well, Peru is one of the guys in the crypto community or the digital assets community on Twitter who really goes into the rabbit holes. You know, he really searches like every day. He's reading so many articles and goes out and find also not only like in the digital asset space but also in the stock market space. So he really digs into all the topics. And I think it was November or December last year, Peru came up to me and saying, "It is BSV."
Really?
It is BSV. You have to put everything you have into BSV. You have to do it. Sell everything and put it into BSV. And I was like, no, BSV, you know. And I also was like influenced by the FOD media, you know. Everybody who's bringing out shit stuff about Craig Wright and so on, and about BSV, and I was influenced by it, you know. It was also for me like I had to overcome my inner prejudices then, my inner resistances, and I was like, oh no. So I bought a bit, but not like I didn't sell everything and put it into BSV. I was like, but the rest is history, you know. But I also, besides this investment stuff, then I also start reading through everything, and I'm really, you know, at the end, for me, it's not important if Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto or not. You know,
Yeah.
Important is the real life use case, and that it works out, and it is do you say compliant to the law and everything, or that it will there's no let's say there's no bullshit behind it, you know. So I want to have a system which which can bring good to the world. So besides all the investment stuff, I think investment and use case is not correlated with each other.
Investment and use cases?
Yes, in some ways, especially in the crypto world, I think it doesn't have to correlate. Like, for example, there are many, let's say shitcoins, for example, Doge.
Yeah.
And you can make a lot of money with Doge without Doge having a use case.
Oh, you mean trading it?
Yes, so in trading, when you trade, you invest money into a coin, and you expect that it will go up or make some movement somehow.
Yeah.
And it doesn't correlate with any use case. So first, when you look at a token, it maybe you want to make money out of it, but maybe you're not interested in the use case. But for me, I think I look at the things out of an entrepreneurial perspective, and I say BSV is massively interesting to many industries.
Yes, it certainly is indeed. So, What date was this that Peru told you about BSV? So was it last year?
Yes, it was at the end of last year. He came. He found it. He found it out, and he was so convinced. And he also told many in the XRP space. Like
I bet he was the flavor of the month.
yeah, I say many after Peru started talking about BSV in his Twitter channel, Twitter page. Many people turned turned his back towards him, but many also came towards him. And I may not say the names, but there are many big XRP YouTubers who told Peru that they would love to turn their channel into BSV channel,
really?
But they don't dare. They don't dare it.
Really?
Because they would lose all their community members. So, but this is like behind the back, and I may not say the names, but this is massive, So the people know it, but they know that there's a resistance within the communities against BSV, so they don't dare to stand publicly behind it. That's a kind of a problem.
It's a huge problem, especially when you know what's coming. I mean, it's interesting that you say that, because I know a very notable crypto channel personality, and this person knows very well that BSV is the genuine Bitcoin, but he is in exactly the same position as the people that you have just described, where he was just like, well, look, if I just simply promote BSV, literally, all of he feels as though he's literally going to flush all his work for the last few years down the toilet, because everybody's going to turn on him. But I was just like, well, if you were just simply pandering to the masses, you are effectively a nobody. If you want to make it, you have got to prove yourself. And the way you prove yourself is by sticking your neck out. If you know that you are right, you've got to stick to your guns. Because if you're right, and it comes to fruition, then you will reap the rewards. Whereas if you just go with the crowd and the crowd turns and you're just, okay, we're just going with the crowd now. I mean, what are you? Who are you? Why would anybody, value what you've got to say? And it's just like, well, if you had access to all this information and you could put two and two together and work out that the genuine Bitcoin is BSV, why? And then tell everybody about it. Surely they would appreciate it when the time comes when you're correct. Just because you're worried about a relatively short-term backlash. I mean, a backlash from who? A bunch of nincompoops. Who cares? Like, honestly, a bunch of absolute douchebags. If they want to be douchebags, let them be douchebags. Because that's what they are. If you can answer every single question that they throw at you with logic and reasoning and explanations, you've got nothing to worry about. So it's kind of like, I have no problem with anybody coming at me saying, well, what about this, what about that? It's just, well, I've got all the answers. The answers is, one, it can only be the BS. Well, I mean, I came at this from a monetary theory perspective, rather than a technical perspective, because that's my background, sort of, financial services. So I was just like, well, what is it? If it's going to be money, it has to be neutral money. Therefore, it cannot have a centralized starting point. So any currency that has had someone create it, like Charlie Lee from Litecoin, or Vitalik Buterin from Ethereum, or Charles Hoskins from Cardano, or Evan Duffield from Dash. All these people they are centralized starting points. So they have complete control over the system, and they have had influence over the growth of that system over a period of time. Because a cryptocurrency, if it has a starting point, effectively means that anybody can start it anywhere at any time, indicating an infinite supply, which means an infinite supply gives it absolutely zero fundamental value. So therefore, it's just like, well, actually, what gives its value is the growth of the network without having any central point of authority. And the only crypto network that has that is Bitcoin. It's the only one. And therefore, if it's only going to be the Bitcoin network, you therefore got to look at which chain is therefore going to be the most useful. Because a medium of exchange is a tool that enables the facilitation of trade. So which one is going to facilitate trade in the best way? Well, it's the one that can scale for the entire market. It's the one that can offer legal protection in the trade, as in legal recourse. In other words, you can you have to have and also prove that you have reasonable expectation in the trade of the good or service that you're trading in. And what's it? Oh yeah, but basically it has to function. It has to be the cheapest. It has to be the quickest. It has to outcompete absolutely every single other medium of exchange out there. And the only one that can do that is BSV. So if anything is a closed market, let's say for example, let's take BTC. So BTC fails on 2 counts. One, the blockchain doesn't scale. And if the blockchain doesn't scale, it only does 7 transactions a second. That means, if you're the 8th person in that second trying to use the network, you simply can't use it. And if you can't use it, it is of absolutely no value to you whatsoever, because you can't use it. It is useless to you. It's got no value. So therefore, you've already got a person that's looking for an alternative solution. So that's one reason that it fails. And then the other one is the Lightning Network. So the Lightning Network that they're trying to scale on cannot be used as money because the data doesn't go through the blockchain. And if the data doesn't go through the blockchain, it has no fundamental value because you've basically, it's like sending somebody an email that they can just simply delete. There is no value in that data. So you therefore cannot go to court and expect the good or service in return because you've sent them an email. It's no different from giving somebody an IOU. So actually, I think I'll see if I can find the Dumb and Dumber IOU GIF because this absolutely this has me in stitches.
I know it's your favorite GIF, I think.
There we go. Let's see if we can find this Dumb and Dumber. Here we go. Dumb and Dumber.
But besides, I think BTC will have a value, and this is for trading and trading, getting some money out of this trades. This will, I think, this will stay.
Getting money off the trade. Say that again.
Yeah, so I think there are many people into Bitcoin as BTC. For just to create money, to take out money and they invest and then make some trades and then they got some money out. Many will lose it. So I think this will not vanish or something within a day or so. I think even if when it comes now to Bitcoin price after halving and so on, or BTC price. So many people say, okay, it might go to 3,000 or even lower. Some people say, okay, it will rise after 2 months or so after the halving. So it's speculation, but if you know how to trade, you can use both sides. When it goes up, you can make some money, but if it goes down and you sell beforehand and buy back, you can also create something. But
well, the winner in that is going to be the exchange that you're trading on, because they take commission whether you're shorting, whether you're longing, buying or selling. They just simply take commissions. So they want as many shitcoins on their exchange as possible, and they want to encourage people to trade. And the way they encourage people to trade is by giving them the false impression that they're going to make money. Because nobody advertises that they lose money, because it's a bit like holding your hand up and saying, "Yeah, I'm stupid. I lost money." I mean, who's going to admit that? It's and it adds, like, trading, as in pumping and dumping, offers no utility whatsoever. So I mean, it's just it just blows my mind that people think that trading is the be all and end all of these things, like their shares on the stock market that actually have a dividend. They don't. They literally have nothing. Without utility, they have no value whatsoever. And so therefore, you've got to look at look at what it offers in terms of utility. So with the Lightning Network, it's it's literally sending IOUs, so therefore you have no legal recourse in it. I mean, no business is going to accept an IOU for their goods or services. Yeah, they're just I don't want an IOU. Give me something that actually represents the value, so then I can use that later on to exchange for more goods and services. And then also the Lightning Network completely removes the use of the chain, and therefore if the chain is not scaling and you've got the block reward happening every 4 years, it just means that the number of miners that can be supported by the chain gets less and less and less, and it becomes completely centralized. But as in like the mining becomes centralized, but since Blockstream added SegWit, and SegWit is all part of, the whole point of Bitcoin is to dilute control. And the way you dilute control is you hold everybody on the network accountable to each other so that nobody can get away with doing something that somebody else wouldn't know about. And SegWit segregates the signatures. So therefore, whoever it was that added SegWit now has complete control of the network because they can do something without being accountable to anybody. So, it's a completely centralized system. It's absolutely worthless. And it's the same with all these anonymous systems. Anything that is anonymous, which means that people can get away with doing stuff on the system, means that they have complete control of it, because whoever created and added the anonymity can do whatever they want. So therefore, it can never be money. It's that simple, And the fact that some of these people that have been in crypto for this length of time haven't figured that out just blows my mind.
Well, it's what you're also maybe calling out. It's a Byzantine general problem.
Yes.
If 51% is of the mining is made by someone who wants to do some fraudulent action, it can happen, So, and I heard also that maybe 60% of all the Bitcoin is mined in China. So this is, I think, if only one party has more than 50-something% of the mining power, computer, it can be, it's not good, just as you were explaining.
Yeah, so mining can be an issue, but miners also need to compete with each other. So miners are sort of like in a catch-22 situation in that miners want to compete with each other,
Yes.
But at the same time, a centralized system makes the system less valuable. So in other words, miners, although they're competing with their competitors are necessary to give the network value. So it's a bit like a Formula One race where all the racing drivers are trying to beat each other. But if the lower teams get beaten too often and they have no money, they have nobody to race against, and therefore they lose the entertainment, because the entertainment is the sport is competitive. So if you have no competitors, it's not a sport, and therefore people aren't going to be interested in it.
Yeah.
So there is that, but thing is though, there are so many large mining operations, particularly like with BTC. Eventually, they're all going to come over onto the genuine Bitcoin. So BSV eventually will have 100% of this hash rate, which actually brings us on to quite a good topic here. I was asking somebody. Well, I was having a chat with somebody yesterday about hash. And somebody goes, hash follows price, and somebody else said price follows hash, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, actually, yes, price first follows hash, because obviously, you have the hash rate on the network before it had a price, and then the hash rate is what made the network valuable, and then value is what eventually gave the network a price. But then as the price increases, that makes miners more profitable, which opens the door for more hash rate to come onto the network. So it's almost like a chicken and egg situation. And I wrote here, yes, price first follows hash, but then hash also follows price. Just like Bitcoin being incentivized at every level, morally, ethically, politically, financially, economically. This is the way that Satoshi designed Bitcoin. It's a beautiful system. Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is BSV. And then Calvin commented on this, so I had a little bit of banter with him. And he said, hash follows price only. Price does not follow hash. So I said, if hash follows price only, how come there was hash on the network before price came into existence? Aha. So it was, that was a good bit of banter. But it's going back to the hash rate here, just quickly. So let's have a look at the mining profitability, because this cracks me up every time I look at it. Look at this. This is. Are you seeing this? Maybe on the. Can you see this, Micah?
No. What?
Sorry.
I only see the.
It'll come up on the. It'll come up on the YouTube screen shortly. But basically, what we're looking at right here is it says it is 7.2% more profitable to mine on BSV than BTC. However,
I saw your tweet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I keep an eye on this all the day, and I can tell you that it is nearly always more profitable to mine on BSV than BTC, and it is constant. It is more often than not more profitable to mine on BTC than it is for BCH, and I would say that if you know or if you understand who has. Who probably has the most hash power in all the world, on the Bitcoin network, I would say that it's probably that person that is manipulating these figures, because they've got so much hash power. They can make hash power more competitive on one network, which makes it less profitable for the miners because they're so wealthy they can sustain it, which means they're effectively killing it. So that if you slowly bring hash rate across onto the network, and then traders are going to be looking at the hash going, oh, right, well, there's more hash coming over onto the network, which means the network is becoming more valuable. If the network's becoming more valuable, it might be worth more, so therefore I'm going to sell my shitcoin and buy more of the genuine Bitcoin with it. And then as the price goes up, that attracts even more traders and more hash rate. And it just simply, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you imagine that these mining profitabilities are comparative to the profitability on BTC right now, what on earth are they going to be when the reward at halving kicks in and suddenly the miners are getting even 50% less than what they're getting now? It's going to be huge. It cracks me up, and I can imagine the person or the entity that's doing this literally just twiddling their thumb or rubbing their hands together, like a little naughty school kid, knowing exactly what they're doing. Because if we looked at the hash rate during the hash war, let's see if we can find it. It was really. Do you remember looking at the hash war? Do you remember? Were you into BSV at the hash war? That was November 15th, 2018 was when the hash war started. Was that a bit?
No.
That was before your time? Was it?
Yes, it was before my time.
Here we go. So let's see if we can find the hash rate on the network. Bitcoin fees.
But I think Peru made some statement or some tweets in the last days about the hash rate of BCH and BSV, I think. And he occurred a little shitstorm about it.
Really? Oh, what was the statement?
So some people out of actually the BSV community calls that like Peru would understand it incorrectly. BCH would not become dead or something, and really people blocked him and everything. It was so ridiculous, but
Really?
actually Peru was taking only actual numbers of what's going on just with the hash rate and everything, or the transaction rates with BCH and BSV and BTC. So Peru was right, but actually it occurs like anger within some of the Twitter people. It
Really?
was hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, well, that's actually why I block loads of people on Twitter. Like literally, if I think anybody, if I suspect anybody of being a troll, a shitcoiner, or somebody who's just only interested in promoting giveaways, I literally just block them straight away, because it's not worth having trolls or shitcoiners following you, because they can basically collude and then report your profile to Twitter and take it down. So I'm just like, I value my profile. So if I suspect anybody, I'll just simply delete them. So it just means I only have really quality, genuine followers on my profile. And that generally makes my life a lot better, because people appreciate my comments, they comment on my comments, and I can actually have a decent discussion. Whereas if you look at like Roger Ver's profile, for example, the number of people that troll him, I don't even know why he bothers tweeting. But part of me thinks that he's a complete douchebag anyway. Literally, he won't listen to anybody, because personally I think he can't understand it, because he's just like dumb, really. He's just a bit stupid, unfortunately. And here's a guy that I used to look up to when I first got into crypto. So I'm just looking at the hash rate here, and it looks like it only goes back. This chart here only goes back to that's actually just a week. But when I used to watch the hash rate during the hash war, it was so funny that BCH would literally turn up their hash rate. I think Roger was bragging about how they'd put enough hash on the system that it was like 5 minutes of energy, from the Hoover Dam or something like that. Anyway, I mean, it was just there. And then they were saying, "Oh, we put more hash on the network, therefore we've won." And it was just like, well, hold on a minute. There's no finish line here. What on earth are you on about? And BSV is still around, and now we are facing the true hash war.
Yes.
This is the real deal. So he's going to learn, and I think he's going to learn the hard way. But it makes me laugh, because it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. First of all, the network has value, and then the traders think, "Oh, right, the network is getting value. I'm going to put my going to trade out of it." And this is what makes me think that I was thinking about the price. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, obviously, you've got a 50-50 chance of being right as to whether or not the price does go up or the price go down. But I was just thinking that, provided there isn't any more, cataclysmic events that can give traders an excuse to, pump and dump on the price, the only thing that's going to happen now is that if the price of BSV slowly catches up with BCH, we could, if it keeps going at this rate, we could potentially flip it before the BTC halving. And I was just like, that's really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons, because those people who aren't keeping track of the price, they can still look at CoinMarketCap and they'll be like, hold on a minute, what's going on there? Because so many people don't even look at BSV. I mean, when I first got into cryptocurrency, I was literally, I immersed myself and I looked at CoinMarketCap and I was just like, oh my goodness, I have got so much to learn here. Where do I start? I literally had no idea. I mean, the learning, the stage that I went through was so big, because initially it was just like, who knows the answers? And then everybody's telling you conflicting things and stuff like that. It was just an absolute nightmare. But I got through pretty much every single coin on that CoinMarketCap. Because you need to find out what each coin does, and then eventually you can kind of narrow it down. And then I realized that the value came down to the blockchain and how it was made. So I realized that proof of stake has got literally no value whatsoever. Proof of delegated stake is even less valuable than zero. It's literally absolute crap. Then you've got pre-mined, which is XRP. It burns the balance of the ledger, so it can't even be money, and it's got a completely centralized starting point. A single entity started that thing, which means it has literally no value whatsoever. Which is why a lot of these things, like Tron, that's also pre-mined as well. They just simply don't advertise, how their blockchain runs. If you go onto their websites, they're just simply telling you all the positives and not like, oh yeah, ours is a pre-mined piece of shit. And then I was just like, right, I've got to the bottom of this. It can only be a Bitcoin. And then when you realize it can only be the network or the Bitcoin network, you just simply find out which one is going to be more usable. And that one is the one that scales and is not a closed market. So BCH, obviously, you cannot have global or commercial trade using Bcrash because it's anonymous. And if it's anonymous, you have no legal recourse or protection in the trade, which means global commerce is never going to use it. And global commerce is the main usage, is going to be the main user of a medium of exchange. So I was like, basically they're relying on dark markets, but criminals don't like to be identified as criminals. So if you're using something that only criminals use, that identifies you as a criminal, and therefore people are going to know you're a criminal, which, unless you're stupid, you don't want people to know. So you wouldn't use that either. So it can only be BSV when you look at it in those basic terms. Yeah, absolutely insane. Oh my goodness me. So are you 100% BSV at the moment? Or
what?
Are you all in BSV?
Oh, I don't say that exactly, but I think BSV is the most interesting coin or asset in this space at the moment. That's all I can say.
That's all right. Well, I can tell everybody, and I don't mind. I am 100% the genuine Bitcoin. I have no interest in any other shitcoin whatsoever. Because if I'm holding a shitcoin, I mean, literally, if I'm holding a shitcoin, what am I waiting for? Effectively, if I'm holding a shitcoin and I know it's a shitcoin, all I'm doing is waiting for it to go to zero. So, why don't I just simply get rid of it and then wait for BSV to go up? And then do my best to contribute towards the either educating people or building on it, or just contribute towards making it more valuable. Educating it to educating more people about it. And I mean, personally, I think this block reward halving is going to be absolutely monumental when it comes to this. I think people are going to be really confused because the BTCers won the hash war. Well, they won the war against BCH when Roger and Jihan were trying to flip it, because those boys were so stupid. They just thought, right, all we need to do is pump it up, flip the price, the hash rate will just simply come over, and that's it, job done. But there was no transactions on the network to justify the price. So traders were just like, yeah, right, we'll have some of that. Nice one. Boom. Some of them made millions and millions. I know that I would have made millions if I'd knew what I was doing. That's what sent me mental. But it was what a ride it was on. So did you miss that bull run of 2017?
Yes, I wasn't in crypto then.
Wow.
So yeah, but I think in the last 2 years there were many opportunities to also to double, triple, or something your value of coins and everything. So even if there's not like a huge boom like in 2017, there are every day many opportunities. But I think if you are a trader, it can be really how can you say, it's not easy sometimes, to deal with emotions. I think emotions can be the worst enemy, and being too fixed on a chart or anything. So it's not for everybody.
Yeah, well, I my story was I basically spent 2 years following Bitcoin, and I never went on holiday for the 2 years because I was literally looking at it and researching it every day, and it was
Wow.
But the thing is that it was worth it because I knew that BCH was going to be available on Coinbase before most people. And the reason I knew it was going to be available on Coinbase is because I listened to one of Roger Ver's speech, and indirectly he let it slip. And I sort of went back to listen to it probably about 5 times, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it's going to be listed on Coinbase. I have to I have to be around when this happens.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it literally, I was at my desk when it was released on Coinbase, and it was
Wow.
literally the trade of my life. It was
I believe.
it was amazing. Probably the most exciting. I literally, it was like it was winning the lottery, is what happened to me.
Yes.
And then after winning the lottery, I basically did what most lottery winners do, and then lost the lot.
Oh.
So it was
Yeah, it is.
devastating to win it and then lose everything. I mean, literally everything. God.
Yes, I believe you. That's, how many times I would have gotten a millionaire within the last 2 years. I had so many chances, but I couldn't hold the money, or I couldn't take this opportunity, or because I had resistance many times. I had so many opportunities within the last 2 years. But I'm learning. I'm new in this space, so say not like I still will go to on holiday, but still I'm dealing every day in this field. So
So how
I
many?
know
What were these
in the future
opportunities that?
I will make it
What were
within
these
this space.
opportunities that you had that could have made you a millionaire? I mean, I there were three. There were three massive opportunities I had, and I messed them all up. I was devastated.
Yeah.
So,
So one of the things is not putting a stop loss.
yeah.
Because oh no, it will go up, and maybe it's, oh no, let's stop here. Oh no, let's stop a bit further down there and everything.
Yeah.
Well, this is one point. Not making a stop loss and sticking to it. When you make a decision, not sticking to it. That's sometimes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
There was also, I don't say the name, but I was at a event where I became kind of like a VIP person to be able to get some coins before they got onto the public market.
Wow, nice.
So let's say 5 cents or so.
Yeah.
And I could have put a lot of money into it, but I was at the time, I'm not sure and everything. But these coins were already released then for, let's say, 15 cents.
Wow.
And it was like a little, yes, this was, and then it didn't, when it came out of the market, it didn't start with 15 cents, but it shoot up to, let's say, 50 or something between 50 and 80 cents. So I could have bought it for 5 cents and sold it, let's say, but this is history, all these, and also when I got into crypto, at that time there was like on the 17th of December of 2018, for example, the chance to buy, for example, let's say BTC.
Mm-hmm.
And then from this low, it went to, let's say, 15,000, like in a completely uptrend. But I was at the time sticking to XRP. So sticking, my favorite one and only Peruk always says, don't fall in love with crypto. So don't stick to anything, just go with the flow and take a ride and here and there, and in the XRP community, there's the belief of the 589, so that it will shoot up to the sky and everything, and so many of the XRP holders, they don't trade, they just hodl strong, even if it goes to zero, they hodl strong.
Yeah.
And this is, at some point, if you really trade, also the swing trade to the lows, you can really make also money with XRP. But if you just hodl, you will be lost in some ways. You will lose the money in some ways if it doesn't shoot up. But sticking to any of the coins can be really dangerous, I think. Also with BSV, when we see the last 2 months or 3 months, if you trade in a good way, you could have really made a lot of money. But if you would have bought, let's say, at 360, then you could have now also lost a lot of money. So depends, you know.
Yeah, trading actually adds no value to the coin as a medium of exchange whatsoever. You know, I personally am not interested in trading anymore. I was actually into it because I saw the benefits that a deflationary currency has. Basically, almost I would say that like over 90% of the world's problems all stem from an inflationary currency, because it's losing money, or it's losing value all the time as the governments print it. You know, so you've got those who control the money getting richer and richer and richer because they're printing it for themselves, and all the time they're printing it for themselves. Those who don't even earn that much, their purchasing power is being reduced even further. You know, you can't help but literally, you know, just completely keep wedging that, you know, wealth divide even further. It's a horrendous system. It's a horrendous system. Whereas when you have a deflationary currency, it benefits absolutely everybody. But all it does is it takes control away from those who have the power to print their own salaries, which they're not going to like, because they've been able to print their own salaries for the last 30 years. Well, more than that, since 1971. So 50 years.
Yeah.
And I've just seen, we had Mr. James Rockelli in the house, who just said big news that, actually, let's just go on to Twitter for a bit, because I did hear the news that N-Chain have purchased Korea. That's not South Korea. That's Korea. Let's see if we can find this. I saw that Alex Agut had tweeted this just previously. Come on, let's move this up. Let's get to the top. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. There we go. Look at this. Yeah. So Diego has posted this for us. So it says here, N-Chain acquires leading development outfit Korea, solidifies status as the most experienced team in the blockchain tech. London, April 14th, 2020. So it looks like newswire.com has reported this. N-Chain, a European provider for enterprise-grade public blockchain solutions, today announced that it has acquired Korea, a European software development and implementation firm with deep expertise in Bitcoin and IT security. The acquisition further solidifies N-Chain's leading position in its field and creates one of the largest Bitcoin development teams in the world, with a headcount of over 120. N-Chain and Korea previously worked together on several Bitcoin SV infrastructure projects, which form the basis of N-Chain's proprietary blockchain solutions. These products allow organizations to implement secure data storage, auditability, and payment solutions that can scale on the order of millions of transactions per day. Absolutely fantastic. You know, what some brilliant news that is. You know, absolutely fantastic news. There we go. And let's see what else we've got going on here. So we have the latest Twitch developments. Let's get some of that up. Here we go. Got Elon Moist, that always cracks me up. CEO of Twitch. Here we go. And so they've released a video recently which demos their new the upgrades that they've done to their platform. Looks absolutely fantastic. Let me see if I can find it. I know where it is. Go to my messages. There we go. Check it out. Excellent. It's on Twitch app. Let's play this video so people can see it. Enlarge that. Oh yeah. I love the way they're challenging people. They're like, do you have what it takes?
I don't see the video at the moment.
Oh, that's all right. It's
I know, I see it.
I think there's about a 30-second delay on YouTube.
But now I have it, I think. No, up to date.
Yeah, that looks really good. And let's just scroll through. Let's just scroll through a bit of news on Twitter, see what's going down, see where the gossip is. You know, so it looks like CoinGeek has just done a video with James Belling, I think his name is, from Tokenize. That's pretty great. Christopher Truman. So this guy here is quite good. So he's in BSV, and there's a picture of him with Tyson Fury. So that'd be pretty good if he can get Tyson Fury on Handcash and on to the likes of Twitch. That would be pretty great. Here we go. Let's see what else we got going on here. Lots of things with coronavirus and America. Let's see what else we got. I spend far too much time on Twitter these days trying to find out what's going on. This is funny.
You know, I also found out who was, I posted in the last weeks a photo of someone who was attending the CG London and also the CG London party. And now, meanwhile, I found, somebody told me at the party about this person, but now I've already found his name, or found him on Twitter. It's
really?
Nico Larsen. And he is one of the big, the Bitcoin Swiss guys, the founder.
Oh, yeah.
He was at the BSV party and at the conference. So one of the big BTC investors or digital asset investors show up at the BSV party. But, you know, it's like, it's... You know, they also, these big investors should be or should show more that they are also into BSV. I think, you know, it would be also maybe good to BSV, or maybe just they are still accumulating, and then they will publish it that they are in BSV maybe.
Yeah, do you know, I think a lot of people, well, including investors, you know, they're very conscious of, you know, sort of throwing their weight behind something before it's been proven, because you never know what, because, you know, let's say you throw your weight behind something and everybody gets behind you and everybody buys it on the back of what you've said. All that's going to do is pump the price. And when the price gets pumped, traders, just simply like piranhas, go in and take out the excess value, because they're just like, right, that's a pump. People have just bought it, got no real utility behind it. Nice one. We'll have some of that. Make some profits from it. Yeah, so there's a real balancing act between, giving something attention, but does that attention actually warrant real value behind it? You know, it's different if you're EHR data, and they're saying, look, we are going to use this fundamentally for our health data services. You know, we need something that can do 5,000 transactions a second, and it's got to be able to, deal with 4 years worth of, data being uploaded to it. Then that's I would certainly trade on that, but that it just means that, you know, the real value of that is going to come down the line. So from an investor's point of view, you're like, oh well, actually, you know, I'll get it now, and then I don't really mind what the price does because I'm in it for the long haul. Yeah, so day traders are just simply like watching for pumps and dumps because that's what they make their living on. You know, complete scumbags, but unfortunately they're a necessary evil. You know, it can't have something going up all the time, but. I thought this article that I'm looking at here was quite interesting, where it says Craig Wright drops lawsuit against Adam Back, pays all costs. Self-proclaimed Bitcoin inventor Craig Wright has scrapped his lawsuit against Blockstream CEO Adam Back, covering $8,400 in legal fees. So what's your thoughts on this, Micah?
I haven't seen it actually.
Oh, really? All right.
Yes.
Well, you're
I
seeing
cannot talk to about this, but
this is an exclusive. So, what I personally, obviously, this is just in my opinion,
yeah,
I think that a reason that I can think of that Craig would drop this lawsuit is that if he doesn't see a need for it, because you would only sue somebody if they were having a detrimental effect on what you were doing by labeling you as a fraud or a scammer. Whereas
yes,
if what you're doing, speaks for itself and people can see for themselves that it is genuine, you don't need to sue somebody to tell them to stop from telling everyone that you're a liar or a fraud. Because if you do continue to tell people that this person is a liar or a fraud, when people can see that they're genuine, all it does is make them look stupid. So I actually personally think this might be an indication that he can predict what is going to happen in the very near future, and has thought to himself, you know what, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this legal case anymore. He can shout to the rooftops that I'm a liar and a fraud, because at the end of the day, all it's going to do is make him look stupid.
yeah. Carboncraft says Craig answered to this on Slack.
Oh,
So,
right,
I don't
okay,
know
yeah, it would be.
on this channel. I'm not onto Slack. So,
I should really be checking on Slack.
I also think, Craig Wright and BSV will prove itself, and everybody who was like backstepping or something on it, they will lose out. They will missing out something, and I think, or I also said, like the digital asset community, it's so small compared to the whole world population. So, and the world will not care about what like this little crypto community is saying. I think through like apps like Handcash, what is it? Sorry.
Simply Cash, Money Button,
Sendbee.
Sendbee.
Yes.
Sendbee, yeah.
Sendbee or many other apps, it will go to, or it will come to the mainstream, to the popular to the big population.
Oh, yeah, mainstream.
And so then all these lies about Craig Wright or BSV and SirToshi Nakamoto, it will vanish. I don't think at some point the FUD media will not be able to succeed anymore.
Absolutely, yeah, completely agree with that. So I've just seen we've got a few new people in the room. Matt Savage from Australia. Wow, all the way over from Australia in the room. Good of you to join us. And is James Rakelli still in the house? Oh, Carbon Craft has just popped in. He said Craig answered this on his Slack. So yeah, I'm guessing he just said his time was more precious. Well, exactly. If his time was more precious, it means he doesn't need to do it anymore. Which makes me think that he has foreseen what's coming. And personally, I think what's coming is that we as in BSV might well flip BCH before the BTC halving, and that is going to be absolutely massive.
Yes, then FOMO kicks in also.
And what?
FOMO, I think.
Yeah. When
BSV will be bigger than BCH, then FOMO kicks in, and it will attract so much attention that people buy, and then maybe another tulip will occur.
Yeah, and also, as I was saying, what's really interesting is that if BSV flips Bcrash, the reason it's going to have done that is because the day traders, who are the most vicious, that literally have no loyalty to any coin whatsoever, they are purely in this for profit, they're the ones that are going to move first, because they're the ones that are going to see what's happening first. So they're going to have first mover advantage. So when you've got the most, the biggest whale traders, the most vicious ones of all, that have actually gone in, that have bought your coin before everybody else, they were the traders that I was initially more scared of, because I was just like, how on earth are we going to attract them, to BSV when they are so ingrained in BTC, and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to let anything, knock BTC out of its place. It's got the biggest network, therefore we're sticking with it. But if they see this market slowly moving, they're the ones that are going to move first. And I was just like, wow, that's how you deal with the most vicious and most dangerous traders, by getting them on your side first of all, by just kind of like making them see what's happening. And the way you do that is by making sure that it's always more profitable to mine on your chain, and it's currently 8% more profitable to mine on BSV, and then it's actually it's 14% more profitable to mine on BTC. So you're losing out of at least 14% if you're still mining on BTC. So hash rate is just literally it's almost I almost imagine BCH like just something with its skin falling off, like it just keeps falling and falling away until it disintegrates. There's literally going to be nothing left, and so with the hash rate coming over onto BSV, it makes traders think, oh, there's value coming onto the network, therefore I'm going to actually sort of buy some more of it. The price goes up, that makes room for even more hash, and it's Darwinian theory. It's literally going to be survival of the fittest. Those who adapt the fastest are the ones who are going to benefit. And unfortunately, the intellectually challenged people are the ones who are going to be the last to move and get left behind. And that unfortunately is probably going to be the hodlers, because they were just like, yeah, we just simply win the war by hodling. And it's just like, I don't think that's going to happen. That's not going to work this time, because we've got genuine utility on the network. But I kind of like gave it a metaphoric example earlier of, I said, the BTC hodlers are I think BSV is going to literally squeeze them like a python until their eyes bleed, to make them sell their BTC in their hodling position. It's literally going to be fascinating to watch. But yeah, flipping a B crash, going to be a huge indicator. And then we've got the profitability, so miners are literally going to be screaming, and they're going to be wanting a lifeline. Something is going to happen. It's going to be fireworks very soon. And
what do you think about Binance, as Peru asking in the comments? So Binance was making kind of like an advertisement, a couple of weeks ago, with an email to all the customers, saying like, BTC halving is coming up, and these were the last percentages that it shot up in the sky, and what will happen now? And it was kind of like biased. But what do you think in general about Binance?
Well, Craig has already mentioned in Slack. He's just like, look, just get off Binance straight away, because he is convinced that he is seen evidence or knows that Binance is a money laundering website. And we all know that CZ is utterly unscrupulous, because he had a member of staff who I think he owed some money to, that froze his account on Binance and stole all his Bitcoin. So and I think this guy had about $300,000 worth of Bitcoin in his Binance account, and when they froze his account, and then when they let him back in, it was all gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, Binance is literally going to be here one day and then literally just close, just gone. When the feds or law enforcement catch up with it, close it down, people are going to lose everything that they have on that exchange. Is going to be out of their hands. If you do not have the keys to your coins, they are not your coins. If you give your coins to someone else or something else, like an exchange, that exchange has complete control of your cryptocurrency. You might think that, oh, we've got I've sent these coins to the exchange, and it's my account that they're in. There might be your account, that might be your profile, but they own it. They own your coins and they own your profile. You do not have control of them. So I would say I'm very against trading and giving coins away. Very unwise. So personally, I would stay well away from Binance, well away from it. It's just going to be another exchange that basically does a runner with everybody's money, and it's just a matter of time. So yeah, that's my opinion. Or do you have anything on Binance?
Well, I think in general it's still a regulatory Wild West.
Yes.
So it's not like in the banking systems, even if in the banking system there's so much bullshit going on, but still it's worse in the digital asset area.
Yeah.
So, but I think regulation will hit within the next month or the next years latest. But I think like the European Union, they are behind it, like doing it soon. Then also I think in America it will, it's on the way, maybe in November will be more regulation coming out. And it will also hit the exchanges in some ways. And I think when, there were some things, Peru also, Peru finds things out, and then he also contacts the CEOs and everything.
Wow.
And tries to find out stuff, or to bring them to speak out, or to answer their questions. And he actually got an answer from this Binance CEO of America, I think.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And
great contact.
So I know that, same as you say, it's not, can you say legit or something?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Word. So Binance USA. There's, in the background, Binance still has something to do with BSV, I think. Yeah, she ran away.
They delisted it, yeah.
Yeah, but they delisted it. But something, they're still working with BSV in some way, behind the doors, behind the closed doors.
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll have anybody who had, BCH listed on the exchange. I think Binance or some exchange said, "Oh, well, we're not supporting it." So therefore, all those people actually had the technically owned BCH, or thought that the BCH was theirs. But the fact is, they've given it to Binance. So therefore, when that BCH was credited with BSV as well, the exchange was just like, right, well, we're taking that. I mean, it's absolutely it's absolutely outrageous. So I think they'll be sitting on, but I think they've probably sold a lot of their BSV because they were trying to trash it during the delist BSV campaign to basically sort of try and make it go to zero, thinking that would kill it, because they are that stupid. They have no idea how cryptocurrency really works.
Yeah.
But
so I think many exchanges will hit regulations, and then hopefully some legit and good exchanges will stay. I would also prefer to trade or do anything with Robinhood, but unfortunately it doesn't exist here in Germany. Like also some other wallets, also like Gravity wallet also doesn't exist here.
Really? Oh no.
Yeah, all over Europe, but not Germany. So.
Oh no. That Gravity is a fantastic site. Yeah, really impressed with that. So fingers crossed you do get it. But I'm just looking at the list here of, I typed in cryptocurrency exchanges closed. So the Canadian one, Quadriga CX, was a famous one because they're saying that the CEO died, and now they're thinking it, but there were some suspicious trades done after he was meant to have died, and he was the only one that had access to the keys. So they were just like, right, well, we think this is another scam. So this was February 2019. This month, concerns began over Canada's largest exchange, Quadriga. which when developed into which then developed into reality with somewhat absurd dynamics. The investigators have even suspected the death of the platform's CEO. The CoinPulse crypto exchange also closed in February 2019 and went into liquidation with the hope that some investors would make an offer and buy the platform. But it looks like that didn't happen. And here we go, Coinomi. In the same month, this was May 2019, the Indian exchange Coinomi also ceased to exist, inviting users to withdraw their currency from their platform. In this case, the closure of the platform was dedicated by the very strict and unclear rules of the Indian government. And it said in the case of CoinRoom, there was a real exit scam as it closed all the channels and stole the client's funds. The exchange was centralized, and the team did not inform users of its closure in any way. Ooh, can you imagine? Literally, you've got your money on an exchange here one day, gone the next. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, it sends shivers down my spine, because you could literally try to log on to the website one day and then the website just says not here. What are you going to do? You know, you've got no access to your coins whatsoever. So I would suggest do not trade. Do not risk it, people. That's it looks like we've got a few new people in the room as well. We have Ozzy. Ozzy. Is it Ozzy C? Thanks for joining us. Very nice of you. And we got Firaz Uday. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So people that you know.
No, I know the name Firas. I think it's Iranian name.
Right.
Or Syrian name maybe also.
Great. Look at that. We've got a global audience today. Right. Well, this has been fantastic. We've actually been going for like an hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah.
A nice old chat in the afternoon. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to tell or give people, Micah? To pause them up for tomorrow?
I think the next 26 days was it? I think it will be very interesting.
Yes.
I hope everybody still can take some sleep enough, eat enough, drink enough, like take care of yourself and within the quarantine time. And I hope everybody stays safe and not get any effects of the COVID virus. And I also hope to everybody that it will turn out well on the crypto side, so that everybody gets a piece of the cake, and will have some nice time afterwards.
Get their cake and eat it.
Yes.
Right, and on that note, people, we'll just say goodbye to everybody. Thank you all for joining the show. Thank you, Mika. It's been absolutely fantastic. And remember, SirToshi and guests, who anybody would like to come on, live at 5 every day up until the BTC block reward halving, which is exactly 26 days, 14 hours, 23 minutes, and 54 seconds time. So that's going to be very exciting, people. Hang in there, stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow. Catch you later.
Thank you. Thank you.